Yeah, I just figured I'd show this real quick because I just got off the turnpike. That's the exit from the old headquarters. When that headquarters was built and the turnpike was built, this neighborhood was not here yet. This was all forest. You can actually see it from the helicopter view of the Authority building in '53 when they filmed it. This was all woods. When that came out, right there was the entrance to 18. Right there. When they built this neighborhood, obviously, it got cut. And, you know, the exit to 18's further back now. But originally it was right here. I just thought that was interesting to note because obviously they wouldn't have had it come right out in a neighborhood like that. When they built it, they would have had it come out right to the highway. And that's exactly how it was. But when they built the neighborhood, you know, they had no choice. They cut it. So you come out, you got to go where those cars are heading right now, to the end of the road. I just thought that was interesting because I didn't even realize that this was all woods. Because in that first video, I said when I got within a minute of the pike where you go under 18 and back around, I said, you know, I wonder what was there before the turnpike was built. It was woods. This whole area of East Brunswick, this area from 1950 and back, right, into the 40s, a lot of this was either open land, woods, or farms. All right, so like my neighborhood was built in 50, 53, right around that area. Before that area, well, the park, where the park is, that was a farm. So basically all this area, the main larger section of East Brunswick, was all farmland, open land, and forest. What you had was you had Milltown, you had New Brunswick, you had South River, and then you had the old part of East Brunswick down by Old Bridge. The original village of Old Bridge, it's called, right? Right, and then that became East Brunswick later. But that original library that's down there, that's where all the people were. Up here, it was nothing, basically, except for a few people that owned farms. So, farmland and a few farm owners. That's it. This was all woods where I'm driving around right now. This was all woods. And it's cool because on one of the clubs on Facebook, it's, if you were from East Brunswick, you know, it showed a couple of these roads when they were just starting to build these houses in the 60s, the early to mid 60s. So it was all open fields because they cut down the woods to put these houses up. And I know the junior high school, I'm pretty sure it says, well, originally it did, it said erect, you know, the year it was built. I think it says 1965, the stone in front of it on the old main part. The other school that was built next to it later, that one came out in the 70s. And that one was built along with two other ones that were identical. Warrensdorfer and that one over, not Frost, is it Frost? Yeah, it's Frost, right? Frost. And this used to be a park. See how it says Green Acres? But like I said, that all up in there is getting ripped out and the neighborhood's going in there. Well, not a neighborhood. 3-level high condominiums are going up in there. You'll be able to see a section of it. And also up the road where there was once a Wonder Bread factory. Up the road over there where there once was a Wonder Bread factory. That is also becoming a 3-level high condominium. So this is all going to be built up right here with houses. But in a second, you'll be able to see in. where they tore it out. You'll see it. It's coming up. There it is. You can start to see in there now. See it? They're starting it. And all these wreckers, I guess maybe except for this one, Sunscape or whatever, the rest of them closed. But see, those streets right there were built way back in the 70s. So they already knew they were going to eventually build, right? It was just a matter of time, and it took 50 years because they built those roads in there in the 70s, and there was already streets in there, street lights, sewer connection. So, in the 70s, they put those streets in there knowing full well they were going to build. Now, from what I hear, and also, by the way, this is the railroad tracks where the police are photographed looking for Joanne Chesimard and the other two that killed that state trooper. That's where they were looking for him. Those railroad tracks run right behind my neighborhood. But what was I saying? They knew. But from what I hear, originally they were going to put factories in there, but I think that's nonsense. And then they put a stop to that. And then even the town council voted down those condominiums. And then the land developer sued, and a judge in New Brunswick overruled an elected body by the people that said we don't want this. So that's kind of like authoritarian rule, like a monarchy. Like, why does a single judge who probably has nothing to do with this town, gets to decide after the governing body that we elected said no, we don't want them, and the judge overruled it and said nope, they're gonna build. So there's more to the environment than just cleaning up the air. You can't cut down every last piece of open land. You need trees for fresh air. You need open space for the natural habitat and the animals. Okay, so I'm not happy that they're doing that over there. I've lived in this town 36 years, and I've been in this section 29, almost 30. Okay, that area over there should have stayed undeveloped. Okay, it should have stayed Green Acres, or as they called it, Tice's Lane Park. The traffic that's going to be over there now and everything else is going to be a huge mess. Okay, so the history of this town is interesting, and I like the town. I like the town itself. Like I said, my only real issue is with certain people, really from my generation.